first 5 minutes.
Till we get it off.
Now, with that, it should wait till it turns red. Hold on, you have to pull up OBS first. No, you go ahead and leave pop out. I'm sorry, guys. We're sitting here talking. There you go. Now
We are really trying this one more time to see if
drag it over. There you go.
Wanda can actually get something to. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, well.
I can't get back to OBS.
Oh, right here. Hit that little button right there.
Oh,
Now pull it up. There you go.
All right, so Wanda is trying to fix this stuff so we can see if we are actually.
You don't have to drag this over here over.
What?
Just right here, grab that, and drag it up. Not that. Grab this line right here where it says pop out.
It ain't gonna work.
You should be able to grab one of those.
Something ain't working. Anyway, so we got a lot of people popped in.
See?
Well, you said, okay, never mind, y'all. I'm just, okay,
right
now.
there. Now.
Okay.
How about that?
Got a lot of people popping in. Hello, hello, hello.
Well, we just decided to see if we could figure this thing out as to why we couldn't get it to go live last night like it needed to be.
Every time I try something, it goes weird. And this is a new computer. Well, it's not really new. I've had it nearly a year, but I didn't use it for several months because I just don't like setting up computers. And so, is it halfway normal?
It needs to be changed. And
you might ought to say that again because OBS just disconnected us.
Well, it popped back up again.
Yeah.
I always watch that little thing down here. That tells me my connection. See, we're not.
But when OBS isn't on, it's not recording.
Well, anyway, we decided to go into the system. We changed all the settings in it to what we figured they needed to be. Made everything like it was supposed to be, and then it actually worked. Now, of course, the connections is not good tonight because it's cloudy outside and it's not raining.
We're going from green to yellow to red.
Yeah, we don't have a
yellow and back to yellow and back to red, and we can watch this little thing go back and forth. So you are spinning in the wind on and off. Yep.
But some people says we're loud and clear. Some says we're not doing good. I think it all just depends on how everything is.
Okay. The deal is it's getting annoying to try and live stream, and we get shut off. It's almost every Saturday night something happens one way or another, whether it's my fault or whether it's the computer's fault. And last night we just got shut off. I mean, just literally got shut off. There was
YouTube last night just cut us off.
Yeah.
I mean, no warning, just whacked us off. Right. I mean, we didn't even get a chance to finish our video.
There was no weather, so it wasn't weather related. Tonight we're just sitting here flashing back and forth, and there is a cloud outside, but it's not raining.
Yeah, the rain was here a while ago, close to us, but not right on us.
Yeah, so last night we just went off. Sorry about that. We didn't get to do everything we wanted to, but Danny and I did have a prayer, and we did everything because we didn't know if it was still recording or not, and we finished it out like we would regularly.
Paul Arizo says, hi, y'all. With no surprise, I'm sitting in the hospital, outpatient, getting IV antibiotics for the virus. Thought it was just sinus. Got tested. Surprised today. Glad to see y'all.
Well, we'll be praying.
We'll keep you in our prayers then, Paula. We were just thinking that they were censoring us. I mean, because we just got cut off. I mean, literally.
Yeah. And Jamie is asking, is Pearl River Valley going to offer high-speed internet out in our area? Probably within a year or so, maybe 2 years.
They said within the next 3 to 4 years they'd have internet to everybody. And I don't know. We're not holding our breath, but we're just hoping that they do.
Yeah, because we're kind of on a road that there's not a whole lot of people. And so we will be probably one of the last ones.
Yeah, we'll be the last for everything.
The main roads will get internet first.
Yeah.
So,
Louis said, did the wind blow north to south again? No, actually the wind's blowing from the west to the east today.
It was nice though. We went out
this afternoon. Now, with the heat index today was 106, but late this evening, we had a cloud that came up within a half a mile of us, pouring down rain. And after that, the wind started blowing, and it actually cooled off.
Yeah. And so for supper, let me tell them what we have for supper.
Ooh, Lord, supper was fine this evening.
I had done a roast day before yesterday, I think, Friday. And so I heated up some roast. I heated up some green beans. I made some potato salad. And what? Oh, I fried okra.
Fried okra. Star of David fried okra. The best fried okra in the world is with Star of David.
So Danny Reloaded must know. And I know, did you ever feel the rain? You remember that song?
Yep.
We didn't feel it today. Satan created the internet to infuriate us all. I do believe that some days. Do
y'all like gourmet?
I'd
love to trade. I'd love to trade.
G-O-M-E. It looks like G-O-M-E-T.
G-O-R.
No. Yeah, G-O-R-M-E-T. I don't know. If YouTube censors you, they will definitely
email you before telling you why.
They probably will tell us after the fact.
We're going to find out because we got some controversial videos out there, so we'll see.
They hadn't said anything yet.
We have got some warnings before.
Yeah, one or two, but it's been a while. They don't say anything right now. Pray for the South
Florida. More people coming down with a sickness. The hospitals cannot accept any more patients. They're full, baby. You got to learn to read.
I read slow compared to you. You just blah, blah, blah. When you fry okra with the air fryer. No, I'm not using the air fryer. Mine kind of wore out, I guess you would say, and we got rid of it. And I'm probably going to be looking at air fryers and probably like that one, only a little bigger. That one was not quite as big as I wanted because I like to be able to use it as an oven too. So, and our oven was acting kind of, we have an oven and an air fryer. The air fryer kind of went out, so I got rid of it. The oven was acting wonky yesterday. And so if I have to get rid of it, I want to do one appliance that does both.
And let's see, Ann Pierce says, do you think we will have a lockdown again? They're saying August the 11th. They're already writing up the paperwork now and everything to shut the country down on August the 11th. Now, I don't know if they're still going to stick with it or not, but the government is actually doing the paperwork to make it supposedly happen on August the 11th. Now, I'm not supposed to say anything about that, but I'm going to take the chance.
Vicki Savage says this is her 5th time being hospitalized, first time not needing something. I can't see all of it. You got it kind of over too far. Well, Vicki will be praying. She said the clot also damaged her heart. Thank you, Danny Reloaded. Another Danny.
Yeah, that's from the EU. I mean, from Europe, right?
Well, I don't know.
Or Canada or somewhere.
I'm not sure where Danny's at, but thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know if it'll actually happen on the 11th or sometime thereafter, but we do know that people are getting sick in a couple of towns over from us. Not heard a lot in our town yet. Not a lot of people saying anything, but in a couple of towns they've shut churches, some schools and things down, so it is getting closer.
Yeah.
How can I tell when my turkey tans?
How can you tell your turkey tans are ready to pick? Whenever they start turning orange. And just make sure you cut the stem as long as you can. The longer the stem, the longer the pumpkin will last. But the thing about it is, String Through a Ridge said they heard August 11th somewhere else too. Yeah, that's the behind the scenes things that I'm actually not supposed to talk about. But I decided, you know what the heck.
Lori is the ICONTES air fryer. Is that a brand name? Email me at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com with it and let me look at it.
I told you he was over there. He's in Scotland. I told you.
Okay.
I thought so.
Scotland is one place that Wanda wants to go and visit.
Yeah, we actually have ancient family places in Scotland.
My family was a Douglas, and when I researched the Douglases many years ago, can research it back doing genealogy to Scotland. And then when I did Danny's mom's, and that's my mom was a Douglas, and then Danny's mom was a Cunard. And so when I started researching that, it went back to Scotland. And funny story, when I was doing some research in 14 something, it was in the 1400s anyway, the Cunard shot a Douglas or killed a Douglas. The Douglas trashed the Cunard castle. Both of them had castles, and the Cunard castle had to be renovated. Isn't that right?
Had to be renovated.
So we settled a family feud when we got married.
When we got married, we settled an age-old family feud.
A Cunard married a Douglas. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Thank you, Danny Reloaded.
Yes, thank you so much.
So I'm telling you, if I had a place to go, Scotland would be it, because they say in the Scotland castle that there's pictures of some of the Douglases that one of my cousins that went said it looked just like her daddy. So I'm sure all the Douglases look similar.
Yeah, there's lots of things going on August 11th. I've heard several different things. I've heard the presidential test thing, emergency broadcast test thing. I've heard that. I've heard there's a military thing supposed to happen August 11th. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I've just heard behind the scenes all kinds of stuff. And whether anything will actually happen or not, I don't know. I know in our town, in a town next to us, now not our town, but in a town next to us, they've already shut the schools down.
A couple of
the schools down. They're shutting churches down and everything because so many people are coming down with the quote-unquote virus. And, guys, I wish I could just talk plain. Man, I wish this is so... I just wish I could say what I want to say.
Georgia Life. What I did was I signed into Ancestry.com, and I would type, like, when I was doing Danny's research, I typed his name in, his information, typed his mom and dad's name and their information, and lots of times things will start popping up. And even if you don't know who the grandparents are, but we did know. And then I typed in the grandparents, and you get these little lists that will tell you information, and you check it out, and you can go from there, and you just build on it. Now, the story about the Cunards, I actually started doing some research on the internet and just typed the names in because I was anxious to know, because I knew the Douglases had a castle, and I was picking at Danny, and I said, ha, 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 at least the Douglases had a castle. I said, I bet the Cunards didn't. So when I went online and typed in Cunard Castle, guess what? They had a castle too.
We had a castle too.
So, I mean, Ancestry is a good place to start. How is the new Farmall tractor doing?
It's doing actually pretty good. We actually have a video coming up this week about me using it.
How come deer don't eat regular potatoes patches? Are the greens poisonous?
Yes, the tops to potato plants are in the nightshade family. Now, of course, deer eat tomato plants. Now, I mean, and they're in the nightshade family, but for some reason, deer just don't seem to eat the potato plants, and I just always assumed because it was a nightshade, and they are toxic. Yeah, Teresa, we didn't know he was going to be on tonight either. We just all of a sudden
trying out the new thing and seeing how it does. Plus, we're only using the computer camera and voice audio. I don't have the webcam even hooked up. We just were playing around trying to fix the screen where it was big enough, putting the string key in right, getting the the size was not right and stuff. Everything was off last night.
Raw Food Writer says, Danny, can you say what you want to say over on Patreon? I can't even do it on Patreon. A real good friend of ours that has a big a big Patreon channel. They sent him messages and told him he had to quit talking about the grand solar minimum. He had to quit talking about the virus. He had to quit talking about the vaccine.
Well, they didn't say he had to. They made remarks.
They made remarks that
trying to stop him.
Stop him. They tried to stop him. Is what they tried to do by making remarks.
But it ain't happening.
But he hasn't stopped just yet. He figures that eventually they're just going to pull him down.
Yeah. He thinks that eventually they're going to hit several of them, and we could be one of them because they said there were about 10 to 12 channels over there, and they call it spreading fear and making money off of it.
They said people are making money off of spreading untruths and fear.
Yeah. So I don't know, y'all. We've I'm sick of censorship too.
You know, and I can't, if I go to just start saying what I want to say, they'll actually take our channel away from us and they'll lock us out of it. We won't even be able to get back in it.
Yeah. So we have to kind of be a little careful.
Yeah. We're just, hey, Golf Mania, we're just up kind of burning the midnight oil tonight.
Thank you, Lori. They shut a lot of people down already. Well, we heard something today. It said they would shut down a lot of the big channels, like 4 or 5, not a lot, but a few, just as examples. And then they expect all the little channels to go, oh, I'm scared to say this because, and I'm scared to say that. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
They would shut down as an example and hope everybody follows suit.
Yeah, we have people on lots of different platforms that are friends of ours that have YouTube channels that have said on all the platforms they're beginning to come down on them. And it's just a matter of time before they take all the platforms and make everybody not say anything about these. And most of it is fabricated lies. I can tell you from now, I know for a fact, there's things about this that I could probably tell people that would blow your mind. But I mean, I let Wanda today listen to one doctor that was actually in on the CDC and helping to work on this, talking, and the things that he said was blowing people's minds. And it's, you know, it's one of those things you just want to be able to tell people, wake up, people, and smell the roses, you know? But the sad thing about it is I made a comment on Patreon. Those of you who watch us on Patreon, I know who's going to take the mark of the beast. You know, I've got this coming up on a video. I already know.
No, you did that. Don't even talk about it. He's going to give his porch time away, y'all. He does it all the time.
You need a hint about porch time. On porch time, I'm going to talk about who's going to take the mark of the beast.
Yeah. Don't give it away.
I'm not going to give it away, but I'm going to tell you now. It's coming up on porch time this week. A blueberry muffin you made on your last video. Do you have a blueberry muffin?
Yes.
Recipe for that video.
It's actually in my cookbook, and I only have a few cookbooks left. I'm very limited. I'm not sure if I'll order any more to have for sale or not. It's because I don't know. I figured, you know, a lot of people have them and nobody really wants one. But if I do have a lot of people want them and I run out, I can order some more. It just takes a few weeks to get them in. But in my cookbook, it is using regular flour. All you got to do to change it is change it from 2 cups of regular flour or self-rising flour to 2 cups of almond flour. Add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's all you have to do to mix it up. And then you change the sugar from a cup of sugar to 1/2 cup of honey. Very easy.
Kansas Misfit said her son has to get the mosquito bite in order to keep his job. I would lose my job. I would not do it even for my job. I mean, Wanda and I has already made that decision. It doesn't matter what they tell us. We're not going to do it. Our help and our life means more to us than having that done to ourselves.
Yeah, that's why I said he had to hush because that's when it started buffering. So he has to cool it. But we'll see how porch time goes. They may pull it anyway.
Rod Butler says, if you pick corn before it's dry, can I still let it dry for seed? If you wait until the shucks on it start turning a little bit brown before you harvest it, and then bring it in and pull all the shucks back on it, hold on just a minute and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
He's got to go get it. Yeah, Angie, we saw that the number of people that had gotten that was pretty high compared to the other things. So I don't know. I don't see people standing up. We've Grow Family Network has done 2 or 3 videos, and if you haven't watched Grow Family Network, go check him out.
Yeah.
He's standing up. He's standing
in the gap.
Yes. And he's even so far as the one today was on slavery. And he goes, I'm not just talking to black people, I'm talking to white people. He said, it's going to turn around to slavery 2.0.
Yeah.
Forever.
Okay. I was talking about the corn. This is one of our ears of corn. Let me get over here.
That was the thumbnail anyway that I put up just because.
See this? If you take your corn and you pull it back like that and shuck it back and let it dry like this in a dry location, away from insects and stuff like that. Now this one here is about this one's about 16 inches long, and it's this is Hickory King that we grew this year. Beautiful corn, no bugs. I mean, perfect corn. This is how we're having to do it right now because we have some animals that's trying to get into our corn, and we're trying to salvage as much of it as we possibly can, getting it off of the stalks as quick as we can. That way we'll be able to make our cornmeal and our flour this year and be able to save some seed so that next year we'll have some more of this to plant.
Yeah, several people said they had watched Grow Families and said he was nailing it. Yes. He is a very good speaker.
Yes.
Danny and I really enjoy getting to meet him and Bev and the kids. And he and Danny sat down. Y'all saw them talk there, but they talked off and on around the place, off and on. And he really he grew up in, I don't know, was it Baptist or was it just in a church? Anyway, he knows a lot about the Bible. He is very, very intelligent on the Bible. He's one of the best I've seen around lately on the Bible.
Thank you, Matthew Weaver. He says, I want to promote community high tunnels that feed the people, that unite and contribute to the process. We need folks with time and knowledge, thoughts. I think it's a great idea, Matthew. I think if you could ever get a community together and people could learn to grow in high tunnels, I think it's going to be the way of the future. I'm not going to lie to you. With the type of weather that we're having and the type of weather we're going to be facing in the future, I think that the high tunnels are going to be the way to go. I was watching a video today from 1709?
It was 17 something.
17 something, talking about the Great Frost. Now,
and you never hear about that.
The Great Frost was actually the Maunder minimum that took place in the mid 1700s or early 1700s, killed off hundreds of thousands of people because they had no way to know what was actually coming. There had been several volcanic eruptions during that time because of the grand solar minimum. And, there's that word I wasn't supposed to say. And they had
It'll go off right quick.
Yeah,
they'll
probably shut me off here in the next few minutes. But they had no way to know that these volcanic eruptions had happened. And overnight, the temperatures in January went to below freezing, and they did not come above freezing for weeks on end, and the snow and the ice and the frost was so deep they couldn't travel, they couldn't get any food or anything like that, and people starved to death. They found whole families in houses froze solid.
Yeah. And
Kansas Misfit says, where can I get a high tunnel? Go, and we have a link in the description down below from Growers Solutions. If you use our link called Deep South, you will get a 10% discount on your purchase price of a high tunnel. It's a one-time deal, so get all you want to get. We cut a deal with the company. We don't make any money from it.
No,
we made a deal with the company to help our subscribers out, and they agreed to do it.
What would be the first thing to do when starting a homestead?
Fence the perimeters and put in fruit trees. Build your infrastructure. These type things are the first things you do when you start a homestead.
A lot of people leave the fruit trees off till they can afford to. You need to buy your fruit trees at least 2 of each kind, so that if one of them doesn't produce one year, or if you have a low, something happen to one tree, you still have a tree. But I would put fruit trees in as soon as you get everything fenced, and make sure you have a place to live and some water.
Deb's Enriched Refuge says, it looks like my okra is making pods before I'm seeing blooms. There's no way possible, Deb. You have to have a bloom before you can have an okra pod. It probably made blooms and you just didn't see it.
And they fell off.
They fell off maybe, but they fall off as soon as the okra begins to form the least little bit. The bloom dries up, falls off, because it's already been pollinated and the okra is already good to go from that point forward. I will tell you this: if it happens to be damp and the bloom it gets mushy and sticky and sticks to the okra, it will kill the okra. And you need to always go through in the mornings and take my fingers and flip off the little dead ones that's on the pods, because they'll get sticky and wet and gooey and they'll stick to it and the okra will die.
Where is a good place to order fruit trees?
You can also order fruit trees from Grower Solutions and use our link there if you want to, and save 10% on your fruit trees. Or you can go over to, we bought through Gurney's before.
R.H. Shumway's.
Or R.H. Shumway's. We've used several of these places to order. Now, our best blackberries that we ever had came from Gurney's.
Yes.
The Freedom Blackberries. Them things make blackberries that's as big as quarters.
What do you think about planting amaranth?
You would have to have a pretty big area to plant amaranth to have enough of it to do anything with. I mean, it's a good grain to have, but you'd have to have a pretty big area to have enough to even make it worth your time.
Thank you, Gal and Guy Homestead. Planting any type of grain, even our corn, you need plenty of areas. And that's something a lot of people don't realize when they think they're going to plant some grain. Danny and I planted just a little bitty patch of,
We planted Ekron wheat, or ancient Pharaoh wheat. It was one of the two.
Anyway, whichever wheat we planted, we just planted a raised bed. And you don't harvest enough wheat to even make a loaf of bread. So if you're planning on using this wheat for a year before you plant it again, you better have acres.
You better have a couple acres of it, yeah.
And you better hope nothing gets into it.
Yeah. How many apple trees should you start out with? Well, it depends on you and what size family you have and how many apples you think you'll use. Now, Wanda and I have about, we have probably 10 or 15 right now.
But only one was really producing, and it's getting old.
Yes, an old apple tree. Most of them are just young apple trees.
So we're hoping over the next couple of years they all are producing. How many do you have in the greenhouse?
I've got more than that if you count the ones in the high tunnel. In the high tunnel, I've got 5 in the high tunnel, and I've probably got 15 or 20 out in the fields.
Yeah.
Somebody said they planted tater tots and they hadn't come up yet.
Oh, I wish I knew how to do that.
I wish I had a tater tot tree.
Danny loves tater tots, but he can't eat them.
I can't eat them because they put wheat on them, and I got a gluten issue, and it makes me so angry that they have to put wheat in everything.
So I have to figure out, I probably could make tater tots, but that's just too time consuming.
Yeah.
So he got potato salad tonight. Tasted good too, didn't it?
Yeah, it tasted good. It tasted real good.
Yes, you should plant pear trees too. Because I use pears in place of apples all the time. Nobody notices the difference.
What is a catfish? Pia, you do not know what a catfish is?
Most of them.
It's a trash fish. They clean the bottoms of the pond. They eat everything around the edges. They're called a trash fish. But they sure are good.
Yes, ours was fantastic. And we were watching the fish a while ago. We went out and was feeding them in the back pond, and boy, we got some brim that are huge. We got
brim as big as your hands. I've asked this before, but which southern state would be the best to start a homestead?
Hmm.
Well, it depends on how far south you want to go. If you believe in the grand solar minimum, anything above the 45th parallel is not going to be able to grow anything at all. And anything above the 33rd parallel is going to be kind of difficult. So you want to stay below the 33rd parallel, which is going to mean southern Mississippi, or central Mississippi south, Arkansas south, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Texas, across these areas like this. Any one of these states should be okay in the next few years.
But you also want to watch taxes. You want to watch what they're regulating, how the senators vote. You want to check out the major cities. If you're close to a hospital, what kind of, and always check your neighbors out.
Yeah, make sure you check your neighbors out. Lord, check your neighbors.
And look at the land.
Yep.
Look for power lines on it. Look to see how
Kogon grass.
Look how close you are to a 5G tower. You don't want the 5G. Nope. If your neighbor's got a 5G tower sitting within a couple of acres of you, you really don't want to live there if you can help it.
How many pounds of catfish did you all stock in your pond? We didn't really go by pounds. We just bought fish. We bought 40 to start with, about 6 inches long. Then we went back later and we bought 45 more, about 8 inches long, and put in there. So we've got 85 minus what we've caught, and they're already breeding and having little ones, so we should have a pretty good start.
Yes, we use quinoa a lot. It's kind of like rice.
Yeah.
It does really good in most anything. You can use it like a cereal and add sweet stuff to it, or you can use it like rice and with any rice dish. Joe Cochran, hello from Pittsburgh. Porch Time isn't usually my bedtime story. I work nights, so he really enjoys it. Thank you. Lady Bree says, we are way north, so we are putting passive geothermal greenhouses. We can't move in, but being shoved in the city not being shoved into a city without a fight, I guess what she's saying.
What do I think of the 5G phones? I believe that in the very near future, you're going to see people come down with cancer.
Even my phone is a 5G. They're all adapted.
They're all adapted to 5G. We don't have 5G here. We have like 2G and 4G. But when 5G comes online, our phone is adaptable to it. I mean, that's definitely a thing.
Almost all your phones now are set up with 5G.
Yeah.
Even though mine doesn't work, it's set up. Porch Time comes out on Tuesday at 4 o'clock in the morning Central Time.
Yes.
Other than going over and saying, hi, how would you meet your neighbors?
Well, first thing you do is when you get ready to move into an area, you go online and you look for any sexual predators in that area. It will tell you their location, their addresses, and everything. And you want to make sure that there's none in the area around where you're wanting to go. And then once you've done that, then you can actually just go door to door if you want to and say, hey, I've just purchased a piece of property, or I'm thinking about purchasing a piece of property and would like to meet my neighbors. I mean, that's the only way you're going to be able to do it.
Where do you get catfish that aren't sterile? We have a catfish, we have a fish hatchery that sells all types of fish, and it's within, 6 miles of here?
Probably about a little bit more than that, probably about 10.
Maybe 10 miles. It's not far.
Not far.
So we have a fish hatchery close, and we can go right there, pick them up, and come home. So we don't have to drive very far at all. And all our catfish are not sterile.
None of our catfish are sterile.
None of our fish except the carp. The carp's the only one.
Yeah, the carp. Well, I wouldn't put a carp in if he wasn't.
You prefer the red potatoes over the white? Yes.
Yes. The white potatoes will not grow in the Deep South and hold. They don't make potatoes hardly at all anyway, but they will not hold up.
A lot of 3G phones will stop working soon. Yeah, if you have an older phone, yeah, it probably will. Realtors will not tell you about offenders. No.
No, they will not. They legally they can't. You have to go online to sexoffenders.com, type in your county and your state, and it should bring up, because that's just common knowledge. They're supposed to let everybody know.
Yeah, you have to do your own research.
And Camper Jack is right. White potatoes have lectins in them. Lectins is extremely hard on your kidneys, so you have to be really careful about that.
How's the sugar cane? Danny actually plowed it this week with the little cub, but we hadn't finished the cub repair videos yet, so it's going to be a week or two before y'all see that, because we have so many things going on. I don't know when we'll get it up, but in the next 2 weeks, hopefully, y'all will see the cub in action with the. Sorry, my legs. I'm trying to get comfortable here.
Yeah.
The cub will be in action soon.
Yeah. Is it expensive to process chickens if you don't know how to do it or have the equipment? No, people's been processing chicken for hundreds and thousands of years without any equipment. You just need a good sharp knife and a pot of boiling water. Ain't nothing to it. You can do it in about 5 minutes per bird.
That's if you know what you're doing. If you don't, you've got an hour and a half of butchering a bird. Just
yeah, I do. You are correct about that.
No,
I mean,
don't listen to him. He knows what he's doing.
I can run through one in about 5 minutes. But
if it was like, if you've never done it, you need to watch some videos. And I think we still have one or two up on processing meat birds and things like that.
Yeah, we have videos on it.
You watch those videos, and it's still probably going to take you a little more than 5 minutes. It would take somebody, even me, and I've done it a couple of times with him. He does most of the work, but I have had to do it myself just so I knew how. It would take me a while on each one.
Josh says, when are you going to get some pigs? Well,
yesterday.
We got pigs yesterday, and we have a video coming up.
Maybe Wednesday if I get through. I'm live. I'm not editing, y'all.
Yeah, we're supposed to be.
Get it till maybe Wednesday.
We should be editing right now, but we're live. But Wednesday we should have a video on the pigs that we got.
The sweet potatoes are doing great. We've got a video coming up on that. Maybe win a week. I don't know. Danny's behind in videos. We're just kind of. He's been doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
Playing a lot of catch up on things. He did put the what do you call it?
I've done so much. I don't know which one you.
The floor in the.
Oh, I laid the tile in the cabin.
Cabin right in front of the door.
Yeah.
That was the last holdout on flooring in the cabin, except for the upstairs, and we're not ready to do anything to the upstairs right now.
Yeah. We got the flooring in the cabin completely finished almost, and downstairs. We got a little bit more to do. I'm actually hanging a screen door on her canning room out here, storage room. So I got a lot of things. I just got it painted today, so we've got a lot going on.
Do the high tunnels come with the plastic?
Yes, the high tunnels do come with the plastic, both in wall and top plastic. Now, if you want a shade cloth, you have to pay extra for that.
Thank you, Our Busy Acre. Don't forget rabbits. Quiet, don't eat much. Yes, rabbits is a good thing to have if you're in an area where they don't want you to have chickens or they don't want something that makes noise. Rabbits is really an easy way, and they're really easier to me to process than chickens.
What do I think of pasture pigs? I think it's the greatest way to raise a pig. Wanda and I has raised pasture pigs ever since we've been raising pigs, and it works out really good if you get the right breed anyway.
Yes, sweet potato tots, I think is what you put, ABC. Yes, it would be great to have sweet potato tots, but then I'd have to figure out how to make them. We make sweet potato fries a lot.
We make sweet potato fries a lot. How long does the plastic on a high tunnel last? Usually, Teresa, they usually run close to 6 years. I think that's a pretty good time.
But now we are in a hurricane zone and in tornado zone, and plus occasionally high winds. And our thing is we worry about limbs from trees being like a rocket and hitting them like an arrow. Because I think you said one tiny one.
We got a little tiny one went through our. Janice said the sugar cane she got from us is 10 to 12 feet tall on a 50-foot row. It's huge. All right. Awesome. Ours isn't doing that good this year.
It's smaller because we put it under trees.
Yeah, we got a bad rap on sugar cane this year.
But it's getting there. It's what, maybe
that's probably
6 foot tall?
6 feet tall, yeah. The verdict on the black and white shade cloth. I would go with the black. We have 40% black, 40% white. The 40% black is definitely cooler than the 40% white is. So we've actually reordered and got another shade cloth in to take the white one off and put the black one back over it.
But I actually like the light from the white one better. And I've actually noticed as long as I have the fans on, mine is very comfortable. I've not went in and it be just overbearingly hot as long as the fans are on. But Danny's has automatic openers, vent openers, and his stays cooler because mine will stay shut up longer because I don't have automatic openers. I have to go open it up. And so it makes a huge difference. We've got 2 different systems going there.
James, yes, we are growing the Primark Freedom blackberries. Actually, they have a patent on them right now. And we can't give them away. We can't sell them. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
How do we cure our sweet potatoes? After we dig them, we let them lay in a shaded, dry, dark place for about 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, they have begun to mellow out, and the tars in them have actually settled down in the potatoes, and they're actually a lot sweeter.
What is the difference between a greenhouse and a high tunnel?
The difference between a greenhouse and a high tunnel is the height of the sidewalls. Greenhouses will have about a 3-foot high sidewall. A high tunnel has a sidewall of about 7 to 8 feet high where you can roll the sides up on it and let the air flow underneath it. And the heat stays a lot higher up in the air away from the plants and away from you. It's a lot easier to control the environment in a high tunnel.
So ours is a high tunnel, but we've kind of converted it into a greenhouse by putting in wooden end walls and the 3-foot sides and screens. We've done a lot to our high tunnel. So half the time I call it a greenhouse and half the time we call it a high tunnel. Ours gets called both.
Mandy says, Mr. Danny, my corn is about 15 feet high.
Yes.
Good for you. Ours was around 14 to 15 feet high, too.
We didn't plant Danny corn this year.
No, this wasn't Danny corn. This was Hickory King.
We were surprised with the Hickory King. It was every bit like Danny corn to us. It was amazing.
Yes, shade cloth will help protect your plastic from hail and other things like that. It will make your plastic last longer too because the sun's not so hard on it.
Yeah, we do sell sugarcane starts, but it's usually October.
Yeah, and this year we may not have none to sell because the sugarcane is just not looking like it's doing that good.
We'll be probably just have enough to make one. Well, we were really wanting just enough to make us
a batch this year
of sugarcane
because we still have
probably what we'll get.
Yeah, we still have syrup from last year.
So we may or may not have any for sale this year.
What's the best time to put out zucchini and squash plants without the squash bugs getting to them? I'm from Texas. As early in the spring as you can get.
What about fall?
Once it starts cooling off, once it starts warming up, the squash bugs just come out like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Do you got, let's see.
Can or have you ever ate corn smut? No, I've heard that it's actually a delicacy in a lot of countries.
We had some.
We've had some, but I'm not going to eat it.
Gossmania said their sugar cane is 6 to 7 feet tall in raised beds. They added them to just see how they would do. And in the ground, not doing as well. Yeah, it's according to where you put them.
Yeah.
Because like we moved ours under those trees, thought it would be a good place, but it's not getting the sun it would. And so it's growing, but
plus,
not as fast.
It doesn't have the water that it had where it was at.
Yeah, it was
sugar
a wetter
cane
place.
needs a lot of water.
But we needed that for the cows, so our sugar cane patch went away.
Yeah.
We're probably going to put it back in front of the cabin like we had it.
Do we sell garlic for planting in the fall? We have in the past, but this year we're not. This year because of the pending crisis that we're fixing to face in this country. We're actually going to be mincing a lot of our garlic and trying to save as much of it as we can. D.
Foley is in New Hampshire and putting up a high tunnel. They have a lot of cloudy weather. How would he know what he would need as far as a shade cloth? Would Grower Solutions be able to?
We've experimented with all different types of shade cloth. I would never go darker than 40%. I would either go 40 is probably where I would go if I was you.
But they're real cloudy, so
if you're cloudy, you might want to try 30%.
Yeah. Because we're pretty sunny, and all we need to do is block some sun. But we don't want to go like 50, 60% or anything like that. That's way too much.
Yeah, these are toothpicks for eyelids. Mine's about to close on me.
Yeah, we got to go. We weren't going to get on here for long, and we've been on here longer than we thought. Any advice for transplanting mullein?
Mullein doesn't transplant very well.
Lippy brought me some from Kentucky, and mine did really well, but it was pretty good size plants. It was big plants, but mullein, you can transplant 15 and maybe one will live, usually.
Where is a good place to get garlic to plant this fall? Try Hoss Tool Seed Company. Sometimes they have the elephant garlic on there, and the elephant garlic is the one I recommend because the other garlics are just, unless it's really cold where you're at, they're not going to make a bulb big enough to use. Now, the elephant garlic will make a bulb big enough to use, but the elephant garlic is also a 2-year crop. So you're only going to get a round bulb the first year. The second year, you'll get your cloves. Okay, so what will grow through the winter in a high tunnel in Mississippi? Just about anything if you keep it where it doesn't freeze.
Yeah.
We grow peppers all winter long, tomatoes all winter long, banana trees all winter long. I mean, we grow everything, strawberries.
We made the mistake this past year not heating Danny's on the one night that it was really cold. It did really, really well and did really good. Both of ours did, except for there was one night, and I asked him, I said, do we need to try and see about putting some heat in there? And he says, no, it's been doing really good. But that one night it got down a little colder than it should have. So if it's going to get down, below freezing?
Yeah, I didn't answer this. Teresa, the channel that we were talking about was called Grow Family Network.
Oh, okay.
He's a black guy who's a friend of ours. Fantastic man. He's been here before. We have shot videos with him. But it's called Grow Family Network.
Yes.
Ms. Wanda, do you can your ground beef raw or cooked?
I've done both ways. We actually like it better if I go ahead and brown it and make some beef broth off the bones. We had some bones from the beef we had done, processed, and I boiled the bones, made bone sauce or bone broth. And when I browned the ground beef, I put it in my jar and poured the beef broth over it. And we actually like it better that way. It tastes so much better. How long is our hot
They're asking us, we're going to have another gathering, and the answer is no. Not right now. We don't plan one. Our high tunnels are 36 feet long, 16 feet wide. When do y'all dig sweet potatoes? You dig a sweet potato anytime after 125 days of being in the ground.
What growing zone?
What growing zone are we in? We're in zone 8B.
Yeah. Lady Bree said she grew carrots in the wintertime in the greenhouse. -30 Fahrenheit is amazing. Yes, you can grow.
Carrots will grow anywhere.
Carrots will grow really well as long as you keep the freeze and frost off of them, you know.
What do we use to heat the high tunnels? We haven't used anything so far.
Like I said, we didn't use it the one night.
We didn't use it the one night we should have. Danny, how long do you think we have before the really stuff hits the fan? Probably a year, to be honest. Before 2024, 2024 is really my cutoff date. I think in 2024, all the stuff that's going to happen will have happened.
At least by 2030, everything should be in place. Is that what you're saying?
Well, 2024, we have a planet alignment that's supposed to do a lot of damage in the solar system. So it's really up for grabs. And 2024, they're talking about having lots of things already implemented for 2030.
Do we make cheese? No, we are not milking our cows right now. We had so many projects in the past year that we wanted to get done. Danny milked Dolly some, and was it Daisy or Dixie or both? You tried with all of them.
Daisy. I milked Daisy for a little while.
But Dolly's going to be our milk cow.
Dolly will be my milk cow.
And we're hoping Candy.
Yeah. Best way to get rid of caterpillars is called BT, Bacillus thuringiensis. It's an organic spray that you can use to kill any soft-bodied caterpillar.
Is a wood fire okay in a high tunnel?
Yeah, wood fire is okay in a high tunnel as long as you don't let the pipe get too close to the plastic and melt it. I mean, you'll do fine.
Yeah.
Do I dig potatoes as soon as the vines die down or leave them in the ground for a while? If you're talking about the red potatoes, it's best once the vines die to let them sit there for just a little while. But if it happens to start raining, they will rot or they will start sprouting. So you got to kind of be careful.
Somebody wants to know when we are putting up another high tunnel. We have a video. We put up the framework last month. So there is a video on the third high tunnel. We just hadn't put the plastic and the end walls on yet.
Be very mindful this week. They're doing a cyber attack simulation specifically for power grid. Hope nothing happens, but be safe.
But from what we heard, the tax thing is just talk so far. Yeah, usually it is talk until all of a sudden they get to push it through.
They did go ahead and vote today to go ahead and pass the infrastructure bill.
Okay. What items should everyone have on hand in case of a crisis? What items?
You should have several items on hand. I mean, literally, you should have salt, you should have sugar, you should have olive oil, water. Medicines of any kind that you need.
Essential oils.
Definitely the essential oils. And baking powders, things to this nature.
Matches, a way to cook.
Wood, matches, seasonings, anything like that. Because you can take the right seasonings, beans, rice, guns, guts, glory, bullets, whatever, however you want to say it. You got to have all this stuff.
How do you get your beans to grow out? Mine start and never go anywhere.
We just keep the pH in the soil right and keep them watered regularly and keep the liquid phosphorus to them, and they usually do pretty good.
Doug says his pineapple plant has 2 sprouts growing out the side, but he's not seeing any sign of a pineapple. Sometimes it'll form from that.
Pineapples usually take 2 to 3 years to form anyway, so you just got to be patient with them.
Gossmania was saying whiskey as one of your items. Whiskey has so many beneficial things, not just drinking it. You can use it to sterilize things. It's a good if somebody's sick to help kind of calm them down. There's a lot of things, and plus it could be a barter item. Just saying.
Anyway, guys, we got to get off of here tonight. We didn't plan on staying on here. We just planned on coming here to check out our internet to see how it was going to work. And we have thoroughly enjoyed sitting here taking the time to get to chat with you guys.
Yeah, Danny's sinking into the couch.
I'm getting lower and lower. Pretty soon I'll be out. So I'm thinking
be rolled over and
I'll be gone to sleep. So it's been a long time since 4 o'clock this morning. So we've got to jump off of here. But we have thoroughly enjoyed our time with you guys tonight, and pray and hope that that y'all have a blessed night. You can rise up tomorrow to get your job done. So, guys, we will see y'all later on if we can figure out how to turn this thing off now.
I've got to move some stuff around.
We got to kill this one first, and then that one, and then there's going to be one pop up behind it.